Just gotta keep moving forward.
Hey guys, Brian here, and today I'm going to take apart the Krytac Trident CRB. I'm going to take it all apart, put it back together, show you how to install the ambidextrous selectors and the tricky bolt catch and release. Kind of tricky, so I'm going to go ahead and do all that. And if you guys have any questions, comment below. And this video should help you out if you want to take it apart, put it back together, or see what the internals are like. So stay tuned and enjoy this video. Okay, let's go ahead and take this apart first. Make sure it's safe, take out the magazine. Squeeze these gently to pop in. Make sure there's no battery plugged in. Good. Okay. Going to be using a 2.5 to take off the two body screws. And then use a small punch and tap it out. It will be in there pretty tight, but just tap them out. Okay, going to separate. As you notice, I put my finger on the charging handle. Traditionally, there's always a bump, but for the Krytac series, there isn't a bump on the gearbox for a charging handle like it was a Marui, but that's how you take it off. Okay, let's look at the hop-up real quick. If you guys need a video on this, let me know, but it's pretty standard for the rotary type. So you can see a little arm, more pressure, less, and pretty clicky with the numbers. And the spring, that's good. A quick note, to take off the handguard, it's the two Allen screws. Take these off, it'll come right off, kind of like a knight style. And then you're gonna have a large steel barrel nut you basically want to grab and remove. It's gonna use a large like faucet wrench, basically, and grab on there and rotate. Can't use an AR wrench. So put that aside. Okay, now let's take apart this. First, charging handle, when you pull back, it locks back. Okay. First, let's take up the buffer tube. Going to use a long Phillips. And at the same time, loosen the castle nut a little. Okay, when you remove the buffer tube, you're going to have a screw and washer. Hold it in place, just like all the other M4s. Put those aside, and gently wiggle out the fuse and wire. You're going to have an inline fuse. Standard blade fuse you find these at auto parts stores. So just make sure you're gentle with these when you yank off this. Okay. And the sling loop comes off. Okay, let's take off the pistol grip. Just like any other M4, you're going to have two screws and a large motor set screw in the middle. One little screw. Comes up, and you're going to notice there's no motor plate, it's just that large screw. Okay, and here is the 30K motor. It's pretty torquey. I've seen better. Cool thing about this motor plugs, super thick insulation. One, this keeps them from bumping off, like when you're shooting a lot. So that's a nice little touch. That's cool. Also, you're going to have metal sockets or threads. And 2 more screws on the inside of the piston grip, just like any other M4. And remove, oh, almost. You're gonna have 2 little screws, hold on to the grip, put those over there. And the holes for the motor grip are enlarged to make this fit. If you do change this out, make sure you bore these holes out, make them a little bigger so they fit, and you're good. Okay, let's go ahead and take off the mag release, a small Phillips. You're gonna have a small screw, the button, the spring, and the bar. Put these aside over here. Okay, now for the full auto or the body pin. Let me tap it out. Not sure which way. Okay. Make sure you tap it. This doesn't go through the gearbox. It just makes it so it stays in longer. Okay, now for the selector switch. Selector switch is kind of tricky, but not really once you see this video. So what I'm going to do is put it in semi-auto mode. I'm going to use a 1.5 Allen. Just hold it and unscrew. You're going to have, it pops out, the screw and the selector. That's it. No bearings or anything. Put that over there. Now the cool thing about this, you can easily remove it, not by yanking out. What we want to do is switch quarter mode like that, up and out, and done. That's it. Now you notice this fell out. This is fine. Make sure you don't damage the little springs. It literally just slides in like so. Don't worry. Okay, now what I'm going to do is go ahead and take the rest of it apart. Since I have a small screw here, I'm going to go ahead and take this off. And this plate. And that will fall off. Oh no, I'll show you how to put it all together, don't worry. Also, I'll have the small screwdriver. I'm going to take apart the catch. Small piece of plastic here, and when you press on your bolt release, it presses on here and raises up. If you can see. That's basically how it works. Not a huge fan of this because it's plastic. When you have like VFCs and everything else using metal on metal, this will eventually break down, but that's probably like a 30-cent part. You can easily replace that, so no worries. So let me show you how to take the rest of this apart. So you're going to have the small screw, flip it over, press that sometimes, and the small screw and the button and the spring. Don't lose these. There's a little bit of grease that holds it in place, so don't worry, just put it there. Okay, now you have the small parts taken off. I'm basically going to remove the main gearbox screws. This one did have a seal on it. Now I just broke it off. Well, this gun hasn't been opened up or tampered with. It's just been opened but not prepped or anything. Okay, I took all the gearbox screws out. You don't need to remove the fake bolt. You can just leave it on there. You can leave the little spring and a screw and little parts. The catch might fall out, but it's just there. Leave it alone and you're fine. Side note, there is a thread glue or a Loctite on these. Make sure you're using a proper fitting screw and screwdriver. If you're using the wrong tool, you will strip these out. So make sure you're using the correct fitting bit. Don't use a power tool, use it by hand. But just make sure you're using the correct one, otherwise you're gonna strip it out. Okay, I almost forgot. It does have the quick change function. So I'm going to go ahead and use, it's going to be an 8mm. I forgot about that just about. Brought the tool, but anyways. So here's your spring. It gives you the great FPS. And here's your metal spring guide with bearings. Pretty standard. It looks like a large V3, but it's its own. How it locks in place. So take that aside. Okay. It's still very solid, even though there's no screws. It's nice fitting. Let me go ahead and open it up. Wiggle. Okay, it's a little tight. Come on. Okay, and off. You want to be gentle because you have this small little plastic part for the bolt catch going through the gearbox. You don't want to like jar the plates off. But here's the inside of the gearbox. Nice finish. There are shims, so don't worry. Okay. Okay, here is the piston. You have some metal teeth, polycarb body, porta piston head. Pretty flexible tappet plate, that's nice. The nozzle, it's a plastic nozzle. It's almost like Marui spec. There's no O-ring on the inside. So you can always upgrade that. The piston head, the cylinder head is on there pretty tight. Single O-ring, but plastic. So it's kind of like an upgraded Marui. It has like a thicker base pad, which is nice, but it still doesn't correct the AOE perfect when you compare it to like others on the market. So that's one thing, plus a brass cylinder. Nothing too special. Let me put this back together. Okay. Compression is good. That offset. Still pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna put these parts aside, take the rest of it apart. Okay, trigger, standard M4 V2 trigger. Bevel gear, standard, looks fine. One thing I've noticed about this is the reversal latch. I could see it being tricky for you guys. It's just hard to get out. It's smart, but then it's tricky at the same time, if that makes sense. Instead of that axle issue or like it popping out, it's literally an axle jammed into the gearbox shell. So it's good, but you can't really, maybe you can change it out to others, who knows. But I'll show you how to take that apart and put it back together. Okay, sector gear, nice heavy and feels like steel. Yeah, it's steel. Of course, every airsoft gun now has steel gears, so no such thing as plastic gears anymore. Cool. And here's the MOSFET. It's a simple MOSFET. It doesn't have active braking or anything. It gets the job done. And the trigger contact. Okay, you basically have, come on, slide. There we go. Okay, you're gonna have your safety bar and your cutoff lever. Okay, your trigger switch is going to look basically like a regular V2 Tokyo Marui spec trigger switch. Nothing special, nothing to really change out. You already have the MOSFETs already wired. It's even shielded for the motor. Honestly, you don't need to take this apart. You're fine. The weird thing is you have the old school contact on the selector plate. It's kind of weird. You don't really need that anymore, but it's there. So that's it. Standard V2 cutoff lever. It is pot metal. It should be steel. You can always replace it with a garter or modify, and you're good. Flipping it over, it's just like the other M4s. It's going to have a different selector plate, but you don't need to change it. If you wanted to take it apart, you would basically slide this out and the parts will come out. But I'll link my other videos so you can see how I did that for other VFC and an APS. But let me go ahead and put this back together, and it's pretty straightforward. So put the trigger switch in there. Make sure it's on that little peg in the screw. Grab the little screw that uses and lock it in place. Go ahead and tighten, and you're good. Make sure the wires don't pop up out of place. Cool thing is they're already insulated. Go ahead and grab the small little spring, attach. And good. So now, springy, that's still springy. Springy, good. Okay, I didn't really take apart or mess with the shims or anything. As you can tell, the bevel is basically flush. This is raised a little. The bearings are machined to fit in the gearbox without really using that many shims. There's still some shims in there, but it removes the issue of adding a whole bunch of shims. So literally just put that in there, done. Done. Okay, now for the reversal latch. For the reversal latch, you're gonna have these small little parts and the axle. What I'm gonna do is you want to make sure no, yes. So if it's going to be going like this, you want to have the orientation like so. So you grab your spring. So orientation, correct. Corner facing in. And then the bushing goes on there, done. So if I try to rotate backwards under spring tension, it stops. Good, good, okay. Go ahead and move the gears like that. You're fine. Okay, now let's put the trigger in. Trigger spring, trigger. Goes like that. Okay, whoa. That was crazy. Okay, go ahead and attach it again. Check, good. Okay, make sure the little spring is below the gearbox shell. And you're fine. Okay, now for the piston and cylinder set, you're going to have the nozzle that attaches like so. There's no orientation, just locks in place. Put that on and you're good. For the spring there is orientation. You want to have the loop facing the base or on the bottom like so. Line it up. Attach the spring so it's springy. Look at the piston. You want to make sure the piston is correctly on the rails, like so. So make sure that's good. Check that. Okay, now let's go ahead and close it up. I'll put in a spring and spring guide after. So close it up, press, and good. Make sure that there's no wires pinched here, here, or anywhere else, and press nozzle, good. Okay. Okay, now let's go ahead and install the spring guide and spring. Slide it in. Done. Make sure it's flush. And the funny thing is about this, they say it's quick change spring guide, but you still have to take all the gearbox, you still take the gearbox out of the body, so it's not that quick. So, marketing. Okay, let's go ahead and put the selectors back in. Remember, you're going to have a small little part for the bolt catch and for the selectors. Let's do the bolt catch first. Okay, the little part is there. Let's go ahead and push it in so there's more room to work with. And you're going to see the small little hole inside there. Matching part only goes one way. Oh, I activated it. Press it in. Just hand tighten, nothing crazy. So check. Oh, I gotta tighten it some more. Good. Okay, now it's for the selector. Let's get that going. So you're gonna have a oval rectangle shape. Matches on here with a small little button on one side. Can't really install it incorrectly. Pop it in place, done. Go ahead and get the small screw. And I noticed if I okay, it's going to be on semi-auto mode. No, it's not even. You're going to have a large little button that lines up in here. So that's semi-auto. Going to make the same for here. So basically attaches like that. So I want on semi-auto. I'll place it like that. And there's a little recess for it to hold in. So it's pretty there, it's in there pretty solid. Okay, now it's on semi. And you go ahead and install. And that's it. Nothing crazy. Wiggle the wires in. What I'm going to do is put the selector a little in the middle between safe and semi, just to help guide it in. Okay, it's going. See how it bumped a little? That's good. That's on semi. And like I always do, put the pin in and check. Looks good. Let me attach a small little screw. Good. Trigger works. Oh, trigger is stuck because cutoff lever. Okay, I rotated the gears a little. Trigger works now. Don't worry. Safe. Semi. Full auto. And good. Now, one of the things I've noticed with this, if I put in the motor grip and this pin, it will pull it down and make it really hard to install this screw. I'm going to install it now. Just save some headache. You can do either or. Get the pin. Flush. Mag release. Flip it over. You have the screw hole. Add the spring. Add the button. And get the screw. Press down on the button while you tighten the screw. now for the bolt release. If you look at it, you're going to see the small little springs, and you're probably going to say, oh no, it's so delicate. It is. It looks kind of weird, like how do you install this? It's very simple. Slide it in, like that. The springs just keep it kind of popped out a little. So let me show you. Pull back, charging handle, locks the bolt. Press this, pull it back. See, it's pretty cool. So very simple, but if you lose those little springs or they break, I don't know what to do. So let me go ahead and put the motor grip back on. Feed the wires through, and like always, you're going to have red in the front, black in the back. Feed through, line it up like that. I'm going to tighten the first one. And get the second one. And just like other M4s, you want to push the wires to the back, red and black. So you have both wires on the back section. Positive pole or red in the front, black back. Springy, that's good. Attach the black wire first. And attach this red wire. Good. I still have the screws in there. Since there's a thicker insulation, you want to make sure that these little parts, these divider walls, go in between. If you have them all pressed down, it's going to push the motor in too high and it's going to have issues. But wiggle. Good. Tighten. Good. Okay, testing with a regular 25C LiPo. If you do get overspin, that's fine. You see that in other guns as well. That's where active braking comes into play. Safe. Semi. Good. Okay, let me go ahead and add these other parts. Stock. Feed this through. Good. You're going to have this section with the wires going here, and that, I don't know what that's for. Pull the wires down and just kind of poke it. Okay, and tighten. Good. Okay, now let's go ahead and install the upper receiver. Make sure the hop up is forward all the way. Slide this on. Good. Make sure it's flush back here and lined up. Flip it over. Good. You shouldn't have to use hammers or any other parts to install these pins. If these pins are very hard to install, the alignment's off. So if you can press them by hand, that's a good sign. If you have to use a hammer, that's really bad. And go ahead and tighten. Good. Check. Tighten. And done. And done. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. That's how you take it all apart, put it back together. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Go ahead and comment below. And if you guys want me to work on some other gun, comment below and say, hey, work on that. I do have a playlist with some other rifles I've worked on, so that might be able to help you out as well. So until then, see you guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and share with your friends. Thanks for watching. See ya. Bye.